Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I am your host, Ichigo.
And I'm your host, Mikan.
Join us this week as we discuss Oshinoko Season 1. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. We are so happy to have you guys back. It's been now another 2 weeks. Second episode of our schedule change. This week we are going to be covering the ever so popular anime that had all anime fans in a chokehold for months. Oshinoko, Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This anime is great. And when I tell y'all this show had anime fans in a choke hold, I'm pretty sure there were shonen only watchers watching the show, or at
That's
least
true.
giving it
I
a
agree.
shot, and was like, oh, this is just like gonna be another cutesy little anime. And then the end of episode 1 happens and everybody's like, wait a minute. So first things first, if you're new here, welcome. For those that have been rocking with us for a little while, you know the drill. We are giving spoilers. If you have not seen Oshinoko at all, just know spoilers will be given. We highly recommend you pause this episode, watch at least season 1, and then come back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Go watch it. Go watch it.
Go watch it right now.
There will
And
be
then
spoilers.
there will be spoilers. And then we're coming back. So, you have been warned. Jumping right off, I want to start off with the opening theme song, Idol by Yoasobi, because that is still in my top anime song list. And the whole reason I came up with Anime Music Monday,
Yeah.
because that song was everywhere.
It was. It was so popular.
It's everywhere. I personally don't think, and I'm being honest here, I had not heard of Yoasobi until Idol.
I see. I have heard of them. The depressing song that I can't remember the name of.
Oh, the one that went viral?
Yes. I knew them from that.
Mm. Now, see, I didn't even know that was Yoasobi. The only
Oh,
reason I had
I
heard about
see.
that song is because there were TikTokers who I guess could speak Japanese, and they were saying like, "Oh, like it kind of making fun of Americans, like, oh,
Yeah.
Americans are jamming out to this song, but they don't understand the lyrics." And then they would put like the translation of the lyrics on the bottom, and then in the background you would have like some happy American just like not knowingly dancing happy to this song.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, those lyrics are kind of really dark.
Yeah. They're
Um,
very, very dark and
very
messed up.
dark. And so that's probably the other time I had heard about them through that song, but even then that was after Idol had come out. So,
No. I think that first song was before.
was it
Because it was
before?
really, yeah, it was before, and that's how I had
Uh,
them in my, um, like, that's how I knew about them.
mm. I think for me, my timeline was Idol came out first, and then that song,
Mhm.
I guess, it for you it would have been resurfaced, but for me, it was like, oh, this is new, kind of thing.
Mhm. Probably because they got really popular.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that song had everybody in the chokehold, including myself. Um,
Really, no.
amazing opening.
It's a classic one. It will definitely be easy to remember. I feel like it's also very
Mhm.
distinguishable.
Right.
So, you know when you do those blind, anime quizzes with the anime music? I used to
Mhm.
do them a lot with a friend. I feel like that song is just so easy to remember
Oh,
and
yeah.
tell apart that, yeah, it's just one of those songs.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, going into the show itself, Oshinoko season 1. Um, just giving a very, very, very quick synopsis on the show. A doctor and his recently deceased patient are reborn as twins to a famous Japanese music idol and navigate the highs and lows of the Japanese entertainment industry as they grow up together through their lives. Okay. I'll say season one's beautifully written.
Mhm.
I can't say my thoughts on season two as of yet because you haven't seen it yet. But
No.
season one, beautifully written. And I personally love the fact that while Hoshino Ai
Yeah.
was going through so much personally, she could not show any of that publicly.
Mhm.
They captured that so well. And it made me really think about celebrities who try their hardest to keep things out of the public. For example, a celebrity who's getting pregnant or who has gotten pregnant and they want to keep that information to themselves. But it's really, really hard for them to do that because they are constantly in the public eye. They are constantly being followed, they are
Mhm.
constantly being harassed. And it's like they cannot get a second to themselves. And that depiction was really well done with Hoshino Ai, who I think she was what, 16 at the time? She was pregnant in the show? I think she's
Yeah, 15 or
16.
16? Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So she's really young and is pregnant with twins
Yeah.
and is now a new upcoming idol who has to basically play in everybody's face like everything's sunshine and rainbows. That's really hard to fathom.
Mhm.
But I'm curious to know, how did you feel about season 1 overall?
So, overall, I think I knew what was going to happen. Because I know people were talking about like, "Oh, there's a dramatic twist," and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what it is." But I assumed that I kind of either one way or another, I assumed she was gonna die,
Mm,
and I just wasn't expecting to happen like that quickly in that first episode and like that as well.
mm,
So, that was pretty a nice shock, which I liked, which I enjoyed thoroughly.
mhm.
It was very sad. At first, when I first started seeing it, I thought she was kind of like a psychopath, but then slowly I
Oh.
realized, no, she has a bit of psychopathic tendencies, or it seems like it because of the way she acts. I don't know if psychopath would be the best word, sociopath. I mean, she's not really sociopath either, but her tendency and her almost, I don't wanna say fake persona, but her fake persona, but I do think it's probably because she's, 1, so young, but
Mhm,
I feel like the way she is acting, she probably has, I don't know, I don't know her background. I hope they talk about it in more detail, because she has a tendency to lie very naturally. It just comes naturally to her, especially for a girl so young, and she's a bit emotionally immature, which comes with age.
mhm.
And I'm wondering, like, I hope they go into, like, a backstory. I really do because I would like to know about her childhood and how she grew up, and, um, maybe she had a difficult childhood because her parents were not present, at least currently, they're not present. In season 1, they never were,
Right.
and I'm wondering if she had a difficult childhood and trauma, and probably why she wanted to be an idol and be loved so much.
Mm,
Just my guess, but that seems very classic, wanting adoration and love, validation, and all that from exterior sources, and usually that's from lack of it in childhood. Mind you, she was already very young,
mhm.
so, and then on top of that, she was with a man who probably took advantage of her. I'm very curious to know what happened there as well.
Mm,
Um, so she really just wanted to be loved and looking for connection, and it was really
right.
interesting because when she had the kids, it was almost like she was struggling to figure out how to love them,
Mhm.
probably because also another thing, she probably never once again, I'm just making all this up because I haven't seen any season I don't even know if in season 2 if they go into her backstory. I hope eventually they do, but or I hope that this is not the type of story where they just, like, brush over the fact of who she was, they just it's just like a discovery of who the father was, because I would be very interested in and I feel like she would have a very deep type of childhood, or deep type of story. But the moment she's, like, dying, the way she's talking to them, like, "Oh, no, I did love you." I don't know, it's just that poor girl. I feel like I really hope they do draw a beautiful backstory for her, even if
Mhm.
it's tragic, because to
She
me, at
deserves
least,
it.
it would make sense. It would make sense of why she is who she is and who
Right.
she became also why she's so resilient and strong despite everything, because she had to survive.
Right. Right. Well, and it's ultimately what it boils down to is she was on a search for love and didn't realize she had found love and love had found her, like
Mhm.
true love had found her
Yeah.
until there's a particular scene where it's almost like it clicked for her when she was performing and her manager's wife had the babies.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until she saw them, like, doing the little dance with the, glow sticks that
Mhm.
it clicked for her. And then it really, really kinda pulled it all together right in her final moments when she was with her
Mhm.
kids, and she was trying to protect them, um, from getting hurt. And so she sat outside the door and she just talked to them. And that it was like how do I explain this without it sounding weird? The moment where she saw her babies dance, like dancing for her and like supporting her, it
Mhm.
was like, this is what love is supposed to be. And it clicked for her. She was like, "Oh, I love these babies. Like this is how love feels. I'm not showing a fake love for the fans. I am showing a true, genuine love for my family, for the babies."
Mhm.
And then she really got a first hand or excuse me, a first look, first feel, I guess, of a mother's love for her children and protecting her children and her
Mhm.
sacrifice with her getting attacked and her dying basically and her trying to, you know, tell her kids what she thinks they're gonna be when they grow up, and, it was kind of like a full circle, like, I truly, truly, in the end, found what love is,
Yeah.
and that love is a mother's love, like, a mother's love is, like, the ultimate form of love for her,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? But I would agree with you on I'm curious to know a little bit more about her background. I'm not gonna say too much about season 2 into her background, or anything, like if it's shown or not, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. But
Mhm.
what I will say is, at the point where she is pregnant and she's going to, Dr. Bon, I think is his name, and he becomes her OBGYN.
Goro? You mean when he's grown? Mamma
Yes.
Mia? Yeah.
What did I say, Bon? I meant Koro.
Yeah.
Oops.
You're
Um
good. You're good.
Something that you said was very interesting to me was that she seemed like she was fake. I think toward if I'm remembering correctly, I hope I'm not throwing anything out from season 2, but if I'm remembering correctly, there was a part where it is said that she felt disgusted, I think, by her fans, but she knew she had to work because she was on a search for what real love felt like. And so she just had to be this persona of everybody is supposed to love me, and this is what love is supposed to feel like.
Mhm. Like, she uses lying and manipulation. I mean, I
Or
think that's a
she's basically
survival
created
mode,
a false sense of
personality.
herself. Yeah, she
Mhm,
has created a false personality, a false Hoshino I that is loved and adored by everyone, but she herself has to force. And so
mhm.
no matter who she comes across, that is the persona that she is.
Yeah.
And so when she meets her doctor, she's still in that this, cuz technically she's in the public eye. Like they may not recognize her right off the bat. Now he did, but you know, she still can't be herself. And it wasn't until she started to kind of like relax a little bit more around him,
Mhm.
and I think there's a line that she says before she gives birth is like, "Oh, I kind of wish I had met you first," or something along those lines, because I think now she's starting to realize like I'm young, I'm scared, I don't know what's going to happen. I just want my babies to be healthy, but also at the same time, like, I don't have to continue to be this idol personified human. Like I am a real person.
I
That's how I got it.
I see. I almost feel like, well, for an idol, for, like, a celebrity, I do think almost all of them have to put up they have to be a almost not necessarily fake, but they have to be almost someone else, because especially to when you have to take on a lot of criticism, whether
Mhm.
it be about your looks, the way you sound, the way you speak, all these kinds of things.
Right.
It's easier if the person you are putting out there is not truly fully you, because
Mhm.
they're just criticizing almost like a make-believe character, you know? I do think that is a survival skill, particularly for people in entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I almost feel like she embodied this other character so much that I don't even know. I'm wondering if they'll ever show who she was before all this.
Mm.
And it'd be really interesting to know if she's very different. But I can see, like, especially in Japanese anime, I feel like they're just gonna keep her and make her, like, bubbly and, like, "Hee hee hee," the whole time. So I don't know if
Mm.
they'll do something like that.
For this anime, it might surprise you.
I'm
It
interested. I
just
hope so.
might surprise you because I feel like that is one of the good aspects about this anime is that it seems like it's all happy-go-lucky, smiley with just a few hard, tough moments, but it actually is not. Like, and I am jumping here, but at least in season 2, see now I will say season 2 starts out slow, but it does pick up and then you
Mhm,
find a lot more psychological things about some of the characters.
mhm.
In season 1, you got one main character who is hell bent on destroying everything the light touches, basically, because the one person that he lived for it has been murdered.
Yeah.
And him as a kid, with his past memories, he knows that the only way he can find whoever did this or even hold the people accountable is he got to enter the entertainment industry. So he's entering this entertainment industry on false pretenses. And I'm
Mhm.
jumping to Hoshino Ai's now twins, Ruby and Aqua. They're such cute names, okay? I'm sorry. Those are adorable
Yeah, they
names.
are.
Aquamarine
Aquamarine.
And Ruby, those are so cute. Especially 'cause, now it's hitting me. Uh that's their eye color.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cute. Anyway, um, so Aqua, who is also the reincarnated doctor who was murdered on the night that Hoshino Ai gave birth
Mhm.
by some assailant that we have no idea who it is. Aqua has a heavy personality shift in season 1, where at least in episode 1, he's calm, cool, collected doctor who has a hidden passion for this one idol who just so happens to be his patient,
Mhm.
to now a loving son who just absolutely adores his mother, because what better way to spend the rest of your life with your idol than have an idol as that you adore as your mom. But he fully remembers himself from his past life. So now you have like a little bit of conflicting, like,
That must
I'm
yeah.
a
That
baby,
must be
but
so
I'm also a
weird.
grown man who's got a doctorate degree.
That must be so weird though, because being a like, oh man, it's just I don't know how to feel about that. That was so funny.
Well, and then they
Even
start
when
talking to the manager's wife, like,
oh my god. Oh my god, that was so hilarious. They're like, "We're gods." Like,
you have to listen to us.
oh, too good. I thought it was so cute. And the fact that they started talking to each other and they're
Mhm. It was perfect. I
oh,
loved it.
so cute.
That was which is interesting because you would think a show like this would have a lot of comedic moments. It actually doesn't. The comedic moments are scarce. It's 100% more drama.
Mm.
Um, but Aqua, he has a shift, after his mom died, then he completely goes from happy-go-lucky, doting, loving son to the world must burn, and
Well,
Imma be the one to
yeah.
burn it.
I'm I mean, I get it because not only did that man kill me, he also killed my mom. Like, that's crossing a few too many lines, you know what I mean?
That's true, but at this point, Aqua doesn't know who killed his mom because he's on the other side of the door.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about, like, when he gets older, he knows, like, who killed his mom and then knows who's behind it and whatnot and realizes pretty
He
quickly.
he suspects. So, season 2, once again, not giving too much information. Season 2, they
Mhm.
expand on that aspect a lot more in season 2.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
in season 1, everything is kind of like it could be this, it could be that. Because especially in like season 1, he don't know who killed him. He don't know what has happened to his body. He doesn't know if he's dead, if he's alive, if somebody like,
Mhm.
I mean, towards the end, I think he's like, "Yeah, I'm dead, obviously, because 'cause I've been
Mhm.
reincarnated as an idol's child," but he's trying to basically find answers of what happened to him, how's it linked to
Yeah.
her, like, what is all going on, right? In season 2, they
Yeah.
expand on that a lot more. You'll see. Um,
Ooh.
yeah. Oh, I know it starts out slow, but just bear with it for a little bit, and then it'll really pick up. Um, but I don't know, Aqua, like, his whole demeanor is like, "I'm burning everything down, everybody, like, I'm just gonna basically use everybody to bring this one person down."
Oh, yeah. I get it. I get it.
I loved that, though.
I get it. That would be me. At that point, if I'm getting a second chance after getting literally killed, um, and then watching my mother die, you know what? I'm taking
Mhm,
this world down with me, burning it all
mhm.
to the ground. I feel like if I was it's almost like, oh, I was given a second chance to make sure I find out who did this, and I will bring them down.
I'm bringing justice for her because she woulda wanted me to bring justice, like, she didn't really ask you to do that, but"
But the fact that uh Aqua and Doobie like don't
that
even
they know
question
each
who they
other?
are. Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Well, and
I'm like,
it's almost like an unspoken rule in their household, like, "Look, we won't ask about each other's past. We know that we were
I'm
both
asking.
reincarnated, but we're not gonna ask." Well, he did ask, and, like, she obviously lied and was like, "Oh, I am a busty career woman, like, with a nice body," and I was like, What? No, girl, you had cancer, unfortunately, and, you were very, very
Yeah.
sick in the hospital bed." And Aqua was Ruby's doctor. and they both bonded over their mutual love of Hoshino Ai. And so both of them unfortunately pass away the day that Hoshino Ai gives birth, and they both end up becoming the twins, Ruby and Aqua.
You know, my thing is also I didn't even get a moments of rest. I die and then literally a
I'm a
little while
baby
later
again.
I'm reborn again. I'm
It's
like, I
not
gotta
even a
do this
little while
again.
later, it was literally instant.
I think it was yeah, like the same. I'm like, I gotta come back here again. That's rough. But then again, I mean, if I died the way they did, I probably would want a second chance. So,
Yeah.
and then being born with my favorite idol, like, that's not a bad way to go. Yo, but when like newbies when they're babies and they're getting breastfed and newbies just like, this is natural, it's fine. And Aqua is like, no.
Aqua's like, I'll take this bottle over
It's
here.
like, I'm a
That's
pass. I'm a pass.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay."
That must be so weird to be born in a like as a baby again with all your memories.
He had all of his memories.
My thing also is it kind of makes me uncomfortable a bit because, well, I think what is it? Sarina, her when she was still a kid, right? And then she got reborn as
Mhm.
Doobie, and she's still like once again they're teens. But for Aqua, he was a grown adult
Mhm.
and a highly intelligent one too.
Yeah.
And then him having to be a kid again and interacting with kids again. Like, I'm just trying to think of me. Like, if I was reborn and now I am stuck with all these teenagers,
Oh,
I
that would be mentally draining.
mentally draining, but also is kind of weird. Like, if he ends up with one of them, like, it's a little weird. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, and I think that's also why he kept his distance as he got older.
Hmm.
I mean, there have been a couple of times in the show where he's like, I'm an adult." It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I understand, like, I'm in a teenager's body, but mentally, I'm an adult.
Yeah. No, it's a bit, it's weird. Actually, I think I had this conversation with somebody once. Is it weirder if somebody who has a body that's like a child, right?
Mhm.
But inside is an adult dating someone who is like let's say a child, right?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like
I can't answer that.
I'm like, I don't know how I feel. This is a
That's
little weird.
weird. Yeah, that's one of those, like, anime scenarios we not gonna touch, we don't question it,
Mhm.
it just happens. We
We're not
don't
gonna talk about
question it.
that, you know?
Mm-mm.
It's
It
it's
don't
better not to look
exist.
too deeply about these things. But I do feel
Exactly.
like, yeah, he tends to stay away from those kinds of things, and he's just, like, not interested because, once again, he's, like, hyper focused on
The fact that he's an
finding
adult.
yeah, but also avenging his mom. So,
Yeah.
that I'm glad for, like, that the plot line is going more toward, "Oh, I've been reborn, I can be with all these girl," but instead of that, it's like, "I've been reborn, let me burn the world." I'm like, "Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
can
like, I've
I'm
been
down for that."
reborn and now I get a second chance and I get to live with the idol that I've loved and adored my whole entire adult life, and then it's everything gets ripped out from underneath him, and then he
Mhm,
shuts down, and in that shutdown, he's bound for revenge,
mhm.
while also still being a good big brother, okay? Because
Yeah.
his support of Ruby wanting to restart B Komachi, so cute. And the end of, season 1 where he's dancing
Mhm.
while they're singing their song and he's just, like, so supportive. I love that because despite his disconnect from the world,
Yeah,
he is still there for his sister.
yeah. I do think because like, at first I thought I was maybe, like, had maybe psychopathic or I don't know if psychopathic is right, or sociopathic tendencies, but I
Mhm.
do think Aqua, he definitely has some sociopathic tendencies. Not quite he's not quite the norm when it comes to, yeah, interacting with others. Even though he was an adult once, which is really the most interesting part to me. Granted,
Right.
he's just hurt and he's trying to, like, you know, figure it all out.
Mhm. I'll let you keep thinking that because when when you get to season 2, a lot will be explained. That's all I can say is a lot will be
Okay.
explained,
Okay.
especially with him. But there is a shift in a character that you
Mm.
may not expect.
I hope it's
You may not
Doopy.
expect.
I kinda want her I kinda want her to be a dark queen.
I
I feel like she
cannot
has it in
say
her.
who it is, but let's talk about our dearly loved Doobie.
Mm.
Which, quite honestly, I don't think there's too much to say about her because she was living that lifestyle, um,
Mhm.
until her mom passed away, but even then, she did not have as a dramatic shift in her personality compared to Aqua.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, because you know, she didn't get to grow up and she didn't the whole time she was basically preparing to die.
Mhm.
To get that second chance for someone like that, it's like a totally different experience, I almost feel like.
Right, right. Well, and I think
But I
that's
know
what it
she has a dark side.
was. Yeah.
I know she got
Yeah.
one. I know
I
she
think
got one.
that's I
I'm
think
ready
that's
for it.
I'm not saying anything. He's trying to
I
get it
know.
to
I
yeah, I'm
feel
not
it.
saying anything.
I already know. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I'm
I'm
keeping my
pretty sure she's
lips
the one.
shut. But I would agree with you on that. Like, she did not get a chance to grow up. She didn't get a chance to basically do anything because of her illness. She was stuck in a
Mhm.
hospital bed until she ultimately passed away. Um, and then now she's been given a second chance at life. And while losing her mother was tragic, yes, she grieved. And I think she is in a way still grieving. Like she hasn't forgotten about her, but she's trying to keep her mother's legacy alive.
Mhm.
And I love that for her. Because in a way
Yeah.
she's like, I get to like I've grown up, I'm not sick, I'm healthy, and while my mom is gone, I can live her legacy for her. Like, I think the dynamic between Erdubi and Aqua is Aqua's hell bent on revenge
Mhm.
in order for him to, I guess, move on in his life or whatever he wants to do. While Newbie is hell bent and focused on keeping Hoshino Ai's legacy alive. And
And
I
yeah, kind of
actually love
almost
that
living her life.
dynamic. Yeah, she's trying to basically live her life. Live
I
Hoshino Ai's life, not her own life in a like, but I guess a
mhm.
mixture of both.
I feel like she's also trying to, because she never got that chance,
Mhm.
which I feel like is pretty funny because I do feel like that's a great depiction of, like, an adult versus a child.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? Like, an
yeah.
adult is kinda like I feel like in general, adults see the world a little bit more pessimistically,
Mhm.
um, and it kinda shows with Aqua, he's instead of getting to relive this beautiful life again, he's trying to he not gone to the dark side, but he's chosen to go to the dark side instead of being happy and, you know, while Dewey's kind of appreciating every moment because she never had that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I love that take on that. I really do. You're right. Like Aqua's approach is from an adult's perspective because his previous self was an adult, while
Mhm.
Doobie's perspective is a child because she was previously a child when she passed away. Oh my gosh. I just realized that. That was good. That was really good.
It is kinda sad because she came from a perspective of, yeah, she never got to live, and she probably already knew that for a long time.
Mhm.
But I also am kind of I hope this story shows more of, like, Doobie's internal monologue because we get so much of Aqua's, right? We
Right.
get to see inside of his head. We get to understand the reasoning behind why he does things and whatnot, and I do feel I'm kinda glad for that because I feel like as adults ourselves, it's easier to probably relate to him, Um,
Mhm.
yeah, because we're probably like, "Oh my god, all these teenagers." Jesus, you know?
We're sick of the teenagers. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and I mean, the way he talks to, like, adults, even when he was a kid, like, when he was in his little kid form, he just relates better to adults because he is one. But
Mhm.
I wish we get more Doobie's, like, internal monologue because we almost never get any of it. We don't know what's really ever going on in her head, at least in season 1, and I don't know, I mean, granted, Aqua is kind of more of the main, if you will,
Yeah,
um but I would be interested to see, especially if she does go to the dark side, if we can get a little bit more of what basically she's thinking inside because I feel like I never get that. I don't know what she's thinking.
that's the mystery. That's the best part. But I would say for the show itself, Aqua is more of a main character than
Yeah.
anybody else. Um, which, maybe that could shift if I'm remembering correctly. I think they finished the manga and the anime only has 2 seasons, so they may finish out the anime with the 3rd season. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny that. But I am curious to know if we will start seeing more newbies' point of view compared to Aqua's.
Mhm. I mean, if anything, I feel like we've gotten other characters like Kana, for instance. We got even
Mhm.
more of her internal monologue than Doobie's. So, yeah, I kind of want to know what's going on inside of Doobie's head.
Mm. And maybe as of right now, nothing. I don't wanna say nothing, that sounds rude,
Yeah,
but
sometimes I think that. I'm like, maybe because there's really nothing like she's just like, "La, la, 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 gotta sing, gotta dance," you know?
I think hers is more of like if the more we see what's going on in her mind, the more repetitive it'll be because we already know she wants to be like her mom. She wants
Mhm,
to keep her mom's legacy. I think constantly reminding the audience of that fact is redundant.
mhm, and she's probably not as at least right now, she's not as complex of a character as someone like Aqua, so it's a little it's probably not as interesting to have I don't know if that's the right word, but to have her internal monologue. Like, someone like Kana is a little bit more complex, her character, so it would make sense to, have a little bit more of what her how her brain is functioning.
Right.
So, that's kind of understandable. But hopefully, if we're getting a dark side of her, I would like to hear what she's saying inside.
You just gonna have
Hmm,
to watch season 2.
I
You're
guess
not
so.
getting it out of me. I see you trying. I see you trying. I'm not. I'm keeping my lips shut.
Imma
I'm
squeeze it
holding
out of
it in.
you.
I'm holding it in. You just gonna have to watch like I had to watch, and then you
I
can text
guess
me what
so.
your reactions are.
Okay.
But, this overall, season 1, chef's kiss. For me,
Honestly, yeah,
chef's kiss.
it was a very pleasant surprise.
Loved every single moment.
It was
Absolutely
done
love
really
it.
well.
Mhm.
Very pleasant surprise. And usually this is not up my alley usually, like this type of story per se,
It's
but
not.
they did it really well.
They did. I'm very surprised that you watched it start to finish. I'm very happy.
Mhm.
And I didn't even have to ask you to watch it. You just watched it on your own, okay?
Yep, it was on my list. It was already on my list.
Yay. So you guys let us know, what did you think of Oshinoko season 1? Was it better than you expected? Was it a little bit worse than you expected? What did you think about the character developments? Um, if there's anything in the show that you would change, what would it be? Please let us know. And we hope we will catch you guys not next week, but the week after next as we
Mhm.
discuss Oshinoko season 2.
Yep,
Mikan's gonna watch season 2, so we're gonna get her caught up to speed.
I will.
And we hope you guys will join us once again, not next week, but the week after next. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. In the meantime, be sure to follow us on our socials at Anime Sekai Podcast over on Instagram and TikTok. And we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Catch you next week. No, the week after. Catch you in 2 weeks.